folks, Joe here, going off the topic of reliability and maintenance again because you've requested it. So I've been retired for 2 years now. Most things went as expected. You know, I'm an engineer. I did a lot of research before retiring, talked to several financial advisors, did a lot of YouTube, read a lot of books. I've decided to write a video, write the content for a video to highlight the top 10 surprises here at the 2-year mark. You know, there are lots of videos out there from people talking about retirement, people that have studied others, but oh Joe here's actually retired, so I thought I may have some unique insight for you. And these are my 10 surprises. Okay, this is Joe Kuhn of Lean Driven Reliability, bridging the gap between best practices and reliability and what happens at your plant every day. If I can help you out in any way, send me a message. I respond to 100% of those. Okay, here are my 10 surprises. The only order these are in is I got some short one-liners first, and then I got some more complicated ones towards the end. Hey, the good news is none of these are bad news. These are just surprises to me at the 2-year mark, and maybe they won't be a surprise for you, but they were for me. Number 1, I am sleeping 90 minutes more a day. I used to survive on between 7 and 7.5 hours sleep a night. I'm getting 9 hours now. I'm sleeping 9 every night. I wake up, not to an alarm. I feel great. I never take naps. I used to take naps, you know, every Saturday and Sunday. I'm just a little more tired, and I actually feel 100% better because I'm getting the amount of sleep that my body needs. And you artificially shorten that when you're in your work life. 90 minutes more, I think it's great. Number 2, I watch far less TV. When I was working, you know, especially Monday through Friday, you come home pretty tired and you just want to kind of like veg out on the couch and eat something, you know, eat a bag of chips or something like that. But I watch far less TV than I did. It's probably easily half, probably down, you know, 60% or so. That was a surprise for me. I wasn't expecting that. Number 3, life accelerates. The weeks fly by. I cannot imagine. You hear your parents talking about this. I thought with retirement and having longer days of not having an agenda to work through, not having all those activities that, you know, life would slow down. And I just can't believe how fast 2 years have gone by. That was a surprise for me. Number 4, this was a surprise. You know, I should have known a little bit more about it, but I didn't realize it would be so big. The pace of life. This is number 4. The pace of life was hard to adjust to. You know, it took me really 6 months to go from what I call 5th gear, running all the time, making decisions, going to meetings, you know, doing this, you know, just very fast-paced life, making decisions, making things happen, completing projects, just that pace, to slow down to 2nd gear. 5th gear to 2nd gear was hard. You know, you're now, hey, you know, you don't have to get on Saturday, if there's 10 projects to be done, you know, around the house, you don't have to get 10 done on Saturday. You can get 2 done. You can get 0 done and push that off to tomorrow. Just the whole pace of life slows down, but at the same time, it accelerates. The weeks fly by. That's interesting. I guess it's kind of like being on vacation, how weeks of vacation fly by even though you may be relaxing at the beach or on a cruise, something like that. So that was number 4. The pace of life actually was a little bit hard to adjust to. You know, I had a project list originally, and I knocked out that project list in about a month, you know, and I thought it would take me a year. Just because, you know, I couldn't slow down. I got to get this project done, get this one done, get this one done, because I was used to that pace. So number 5, you have no idea of the stress you're under. It's like carrying, I describe it as carrying a 10-pound weight around with you at all times. You just don't realize it. It's not heavy enough that it kills you, but when you set it down and you're like, man, just from focusing on projects, deadlines, meetings, you know, meetings with your boss, performance updates, all those things in your life of a normal 9 to 5 job, 9 to 5, 7 to 5 job, just put their little weight on you. And me having responsibility for environmental health and safety at the plant and worrying about employees, literally getting killed or environmental spills. I felt I handled that great. I handled it better than 99% of the people. But once it was relieved, I'm telling you, it was equivalent to setting down a 10-pound weight that I was carrying around with me. And it's got to have some health benefits as well. So that's number 5. Number 6, more balanced living. I should have expected this, but I was slacking off in a couple areas. My priorities are my faith, my family, friends, health, finances, and having meaning and purpose. And a couple of them, especially my health and faith, I wouldn't give an equal time. I wouldn't give any the right priority to those. One of the things I started doing is I started reading the Bible, really almost 2 hours a day, which I wasn't doing any of that. I considered myself a faithful person, but I was not doing extra and balancing that with my other priorities. And I'm able to do that now because I have time. The other thing is health. I exercise all the time, but eating, I ate bad foods, I snacked a lot, and as of right now, I'm down 32 pounds. I'm down 32 pounds in retirement, and I feel great, sleeping more. I'm telling you, I feel much more balanced in how I'm living. So that's number 6. Number 7, investing. Hey folks, you out there mapping out time to retirement and doing all your formulas and everything. I'm telling you folks, I considered myself a very aggressive investor when I was in my 30s, 40s, and early 50s. You're going to get more conservative when you stop working. It's easy to be confident and to take risk when you've got a job. When it's your main source of income, it's 85% of my income are my investments, you're going to dial it back just a little bit. So be prepared for that. Don't put in, hey, I'm going to be in all, Tesla stock and Apple stock, until I'm 85. I'm telling you, you're not going to do that. You're crazy if you do, actually. Not saying don't be in those, but you don't want to be all in or those aggressive, high potential stocks. Market returns can be easily exceeded with more risk, okay? If you got, that's one thing people do is they compare to the S&P 500, a particular mutual fund they want to buy. Did it do better or worse? Did better or worse? It all depends on how much risk you're willing to accept. You can get into some all growth, the funds, the ARK funds, ARK-K funds, all these disruptors. Market disruptor stocks. You can invest all in those and get a 200% return, but you can also get a negative 100% return. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I was always focused on beating the market, and one of the things retirement has taught me is, hey, you've got to dial it down a little bit because you don't want the massive swings in your in your investments, because you can't handle a minus 90%. Because you don't have 10, 15 years for that to come back. There's a survivor bias out there. If you get on YouTube, the people that you're talking on there, hey, I made 80%, I made 110%. Those people did. But the hundreds of people that lost their butts, lost all their money, they don't make videos, okay? So you're only hearing from the survivors. Bad things do happen to investments, and I'm telling you, you'll get a little more conservative. And one of the things my brother told me, he says, if you've already won the game, you already retired early, why are you taking insane risk? I only need about 1% return on my money to last me to 90. Now I'd like to get 20% return, but I don't want to risk everything to get 20%. I'll be extremely excited somewhere around 8%. So, it's all about risk, managing risk. You can get higher returns, but at a higher risk. Okay, don't do stupid if you've already won the game. I have 3 buckets. I love the bucket approach. Josh Scanglin on Heritage Wealth Financial, look him up. He talks about the barbell strategy. I call it buckets. Somebody else call it buckets. I have 3 buckets of money. I've got the 0 to 5 year bucket of money. Very conservative. Most of that's just in cash. okay? So that's extremely liquid, 0 to 5 years. So you have one of your standard bear markets that goes down 50% and takes 3 years to come back. I'm covered, okay? That's bucket one. I've got bucket $2, that is 5 years to 10 years. These are in stocks, but they could, well, in some bonds, I guess something like balanced funds. Like I like American funds, American Balance, for example, maybe Investment Company of America, things that are dividend paying. These aren't going to blow the lights out with returns, but they're good and steady. They have dividends. They're going to give you a nice return, probably in the 6-7% range for my bucket $2. Then I got my bucket $3. All in stocks, folks. All in stocks. Most of them, 75% are in growth stocks. I'm not planning on touching that money for 10 years. I'm all in that. Okay, so and that gives me great peace of mind that I can handle 99% of the bear markets. If you look in history, the market always recovers. Every bear market's always recovered. Okay, how long does it take? On average, it's like 3 years, but there are some periods like the lost decade from 2000 to 2010 where it basically, beginning to end, was basically flat. So you got to be able to handle 10 years on the extreme. That's on the high end, okay? Another thing I did, and this is all under investing, started an investment club. So, hey, have some very close friends. We get together, every 3 weeks or so, and we intimately share our details. We share our details on what we're financing in, and the obligation of the other 2 members in that group are to tell me what I'm doing wrong. I still get to decide, but I'm depending on them to challenge me. It's great. It's really good. I love that. And we've grown closer because of that. Last thing under financials, I hate fees, but I do have a financial advisor. One of the things that was a surprise to me was if you have over $1 million and you stay in one family of funds like Fidelity or American Funds, I love American Funds, there's no advisor fee. So I have the benefit of advisor, but I don't pay any advisor fee. His fee comes out of the expense ratio. So I pay the same expense ratio that I would for that fund, and he gets paid back from that. That was a surprise for me. He's helped me. I worked hard to select an advisor that would challenge me. I could be a bully around and be pig-headed around my ideas, and he's done a great job of challenging me. He's actually a couple funds that I'm invested in that he really pushed me on, and I invested in them. They've done great. So he's earned his money the last couple years. Okay, we're on number 8. This is a subset of financials, but I wanted to go into a little more detail on it. Your financials are much about controlling your spending as they are your investments, okay? And that should have been obvious to me, but you really got to watch your spending. Some things that were pleasant, positive surprises for me. Since I have more time, I'm able to fix more things. I'm a mechanical engineer. I know kind of how things work. I like tearing them apart. YouTube's out there giving me videos on how to do things. Change out a hot water heater. I installed a hardwood floor. My clothes washer broke. Hey, get on YouTube. It's got this error code. What do I do? Did it all myself. Canceling cable. I now have the time to get into what are the streaming devices I want, and what are the cable, instead of just throwing money at the cable company, cut my spending in half. Drive versus fly on vacation. Stay in cheaper hotels. Stay at a Holiday Inn instead of a Hilton. You can go on a lot more vacations. And another thing I had to do is stop funding my children. I was paying everybody's cell phone bill. I was paying their auto insurance, and I had to cut them all off. And they're fine with it. They're adults. One of the things that was hard for me on spending was that I canceled my life insurance. I did not have life insurance. I'm self-insured. What is life insurance for? It's to protect you and your family, or really your heirs, in case of your untimely death. And I'm self-insured, and there was no reason for me to be paying. So you can, once you're free up with time, you dive into what you're spending money on, and you could do a lot of that work yourself. That was a little bit of a surprise for me. Number 9, the community needs your skills. You're going to need to have, especially if you retire early. I can't talk for being 65. I'll talk for being 54, 55, 56. You need to have meaning in your life to be happy. What are you put here on earth for? What are your unique skills? What is your gift to the world? You know, I love making these YouTube videos, helping out people. I don't get paid anything for them. I wrote a book. You guys know that. I do some consulting. I've made presentations at conferences. It's nice to make money doing that. I have good little income. But I feel I have a gift to offer and a unique approach that I don't hear anybody else talking about. Applying lean concepts to reliability to drive immediate results and get that sponsorship. But I also am involved in the Parks Board here in my town. I'm on fundraising to help improve the parks. I go to park boards, town council, all those kind of things. Communities need the skills of people that are in industry, you know, just they're needed. My leadership skills, organizational skills, meeting skills. I didn't realize how great of training that I've had in my 32-year career that I can apply to some nonprofits. I enjoy being there too. Okay, number 10, and I hinted at this one earlier. Folks, when you retire to something, not from something. You know, you're going to want to have, especially if you retire at 54, 55, 56, you know, you're going to want to have meaning in your life to be happy. You know, I worked for 32 years and I'm hoping to be retired 36, 37, 40, okay? So more than half of my career, I'm planning on being retired. You know, I love to travel. I love to learn new cultures, you know, but not 52 weeks a year. You know, maybe 10, 12, 15 weeks a year, I want to be on vacation doing something. And that's a lot. That's a whole lot. But I kind of like being home too. Playing golf, you know, I don't play golf. I know how to play, but it's, you know, to me, that's just not for me, you know. And I have friends that play golf twice a week. I just don't choose not to do that. You know, travel America in an RV. I have friends that do that and have a great old time. But you know, that's a couple years. That's not 36 years of retirement. You're going to have to think of something else to do. You know, I don't have any grandkids right now. My kids are independent. You know, I enjoy reading. I've been getting really into a lot of World War I. I study a lot on it. Spend a lot of time on investing. It's part of my job is managing money. I started fishing a lot more and started trap shooting just a little bit, shooting my 12 gauge. Have fun with that. I enjoy my YouTube consulting and my writing and speaking about reliability and maintenance from the vantage point of a plant manager. Share my unusual methods. So I've got a lot of things that give me some meaning, and I'm telling you, you need to complete your list. It doesn't need to be one thing. I've just listed, I got 6 things here that I spend some time on. Hey folks, begin your reliability journey. Begin your early retirement, financial independence journey early. If I can help you in any way, reach out to me, send me an email. I respond to 100% of the comments, 100% of the emails that come in. Reliability journeys are not that complicated, folks. If you need free pointers from me, Joe's here to help. This is Joe out.